So we have Michael versus Clint here. So I was over scoping out these teams. So Clint is not doing anything like mind blowing, like just a bunch of solid cards that should be no surprise, especially if you're a Dice Masters veteran. Michael, though, wow, he's playing Transfer Power. I really love Transfer Power as a card, and I keep trying to find ways to make it work, and I don't think I'm quite there yet. But more interestingly, he's using a ton of D&D cards. He's using the only Marvel card on his entire team is Transfer Power, which is really almost miraculous, just given the volume of Marvel Dice Masters cards there are compared to some of the other licenses that we use. Really, really crazy to me. So he's got Constantine Hellblazer, woohoo. He's got Kobold. I guess he has upset the Apple card if I was calling Truby the King of the Kobolds last round. We'll have to come up with some other good title for Michael. He's got 3 dragons. He's got red, green, and blue dragons on his team. Just wow. Like, I'm amazed. Oh, I think there was just a question for the players about something. Oh, to use it. Oh, so yeah, Clint was not tracking his life. They're using some spare dice from Harley Quinn to track their dice, track their life, so it's easier for you at home to view, as well as for our camera guy here to update the life totals at the top. So this is. I'm just so happy that Michael is playing this team. So Michael's using a lot of breath weapon, and he's using a lot of fist and bolt stuff. So he's just gonna drive the ball down the field, kind of, and ramp up into big dragons. And it's only made stranger by the fact that his opponent brought Professor X. And Michael's team is one of those teams that can totally deal with not having Professor X because of Kobold, but he loves the opportunity at the same time. So let's watch him. So he begrudgingly failed his sidekick, I imagine, yeah. So he's gonna duplicate his action dice effect maybe from Red Dragon, but some action dice effects like Prismatic Spray don't make sense to duplicate. Millennium Puzzle, however, is quite exceptional when duplicated. Getting to send 2 characters to the use pile is an enormous swing, especially when it's the same time as the global ability window. And when you think about it, you're looking at a 12 energy combo. I would hope for 12 energy I get to do something that's really, really exciting, and this Michael has definitely tapped into a combo that hits that note. This is potentially a matchup where Green Goliath is the less desirable Hulk. I think Jade Giant might be more favorable for Clint here to try and get an opportunity to move forward and KO those dragons, because now it's going to take 2 bolts where it would usually take 1 with the other Hulk. Okay. So, I was told by the people who are here with Clint, like, Clint's dying to be on the stream. He really wants to. Wow, he's really looking forward to this. And Michael's like, sure, I'll try it. And Clint is here begrudgingly, I think, under much duress. So I'm gonna feel. Both of these players are, I believe, locked in for top 16 at this point, and they're really playing for the seeding in the playoffs. But we'll see what happens here. So Clint is at 18 because of Michael using the Red Dragon global ability, and I believe attacking with a sidekick. So he refills his bag. He's gonna. Oh no, he used Red Dragon twice. So Prismatic Spray being able to shut off Professor X during your turn is gonna mean that Clint will have turns where he can't ramp, but he won't know what turns they might be necessarily, and might get like pigeonholed that he's like stuck with these energies. Really curious to see exactly how that plays out in this matchup. So one sec. So there's been some accidental knocking of the dice, and the players have come to an agreement as far as what they think things are or might have been. So this, more often than not, this is just the nerves of people being on stream when they're not used to doing so. So Clint is chugging down this path of weapon 10, and it's pretty reasonable that he could just cruise twice, and that's game, you know. Pop from formerly weapon 10. So both masks and bolts will help him get through Michael's defenses, because Michael's only defense is 2 psychic dice. I had no idea how prevalent dice towers are going to be at these events, and I really feel like I'm a dinosaur that I use my hands to roll dice. Like, oh, let me go send my telegraph while I'm at it. 4 masks and 2 wilds and a fist. I can see a world where you just keep all those and don't really worry about it. Oh no, there's Quantum. Okay, I was gonna say, like, pretty weird that I didn't notice a 2-cost character and glancing over Clint's team. HeroClix players are getting excited that they know they're getting their chance on stream this afternoon, soon. So gonna be interesting. Clint's stuffing around the dice, trying to think, what are my goals? Michael looks really confident. I think that's positive. More often than not. It's also really funny to me that he's wearing his Captain America shirt and not really interested in using the Avengers, despite their omnipresence in Dice Masters, as it would seem. Okay, so. Ooh. Okay, so 6 for the Hulk. Yeah. Hulk and Wolverine is a hyper-thematic little combo to go for there. Wolverine's first appearance being in the Hulk, but using Slifer to ping the Hulk for 1 damage and then clear your opponent's board of all characters that are 3 defense or less is pretty crazy. And on one hand, if you attack with the Hulk, Wolverine will not get the +4 anymore. But you might not care, because that can be as much as +8 damage instead. So there's really just a lot of different options for Clint, depending on what he rolls in the next few turns. But the same is quite true for Michael. I mean, he's managed to purchase a red dragon die. He's got a whole bunch of energy going, and Cobalt is really something just sitting on the side compared to his usage of the Professor X Global from Clint. But that's just kind of that's an important part of being good at in games, Dice Masters in particular, that you have to be flexible. You have to pivot. You have to say, I recognize the situation, and I'm going to abandon my usual comfort zone for what is best here. And that flex is its own comfort zone that players need to get into. So, Constantine, Red Dragon. Oh, there's a Kobold. Okay. No need to fear. Kobold is here. Okay, so another prismatic spray die. Okay. Constantine. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh no, that was a. He used transfer power. Wow. The synergy is quite real between Red Dragon and these effects. Oh wow. I really just a huge fan of this dragon team that's shown up, right? So Clint is down to 11 life at this point, and so I don't know if Michael called anyone for Constantine. He could. I'm not sure if he forgot to call someone or if he didn't signal. This is something I don't want to ask the players about because I don't want to give away a strategic point that Michael might be missing out on. I believe, given the right rolls, that Michael wins next turn. And in the same way, I believe, given the right rolls, that Clint could build a wall to hide behind and be okay. And I think that's one of the exciting things about Dice Masters is that it could be over, or it could drag out. It could really drag out. Got a message from some friends who play Dice Masters and who've streamed Dice Masters before, and they're like, "Hey, why can't we seem to end our games?" And then you just look at the teams they're playing. You're like, guys, these teams, you do want to end your games. That's why. Also, Die almost jumps out of the dice tower there. Okay, let's see what Clint's gonna do here. So Clint is trying to use the least useful energy imaginable to Field Hulk, and he uses generics for it. And now he's kind of looking and saying, okay, well, I've got three energy left to use, and if I want to ramp like crazy, but maybe that fourth energy really matters. Maybe it doesn't. Okay, so he gets another Poly. Poly is really, really good removal, and so you can only think, in addition to being a great accelerator. So you don't necessarily know what Clint's planning. He's really avoided telegraphing his intentions to Michael on this one. Clint is, however, in range that a series of breath weapons, a reasonable series of breath weapons, I should say, could eliminate him from this game. Okay, so spins one for a resurrection. Oh, I feel like Michael's team is just so next level. It's so exciting. We're seeing Gear. And he's like doing so well. Here he is at 3-1, paired up to Clint, who's 4-0, and he's got a very real chance of taking this game. Okay, let's see. I love the way players group dice. So okay, I'm keeping masks. Masks are the best. Oh, I'm gonna roll everything else. Okay. Yeah. It looks like Michael bumped one of the dice there, but then the orientation of what face it was on did not change. Okay. Whoa, so a spray here is huge because he can use spray. Now Hulk is blank and Clint can't ramp. And woof, 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 woof. That is crazy. I think that's game. I think Clint loses to his own relentless here. Michael is going to be able to relentless Hulk and Red Dragon, and it's over. Maybe not. Maybe there's something at play that I'm not seeing. I can't see what face the Red Dragon's on, and that could be part of the issue here. But even if it's only 5 attack, 3 from the breath weapon, bringing Clint to 8. The psychic, the 2 sidekicks and the kobold would finish the job because relentless would prevent Hulk from being able to block. Hulk is right now just a blank character with I think 7/7 stats. Blue Dragon and French Dragon's on the screen right now, and the fact that it's generating that relentless effect without your opponent getting to use relentless is really crazy. There are dice in the future that I think might take some special advantage out of this Blue Dragon Red Dragon combo. Okay, so what's he gonna do? Oh, he's gonna Resurrection Knight. Oh no, he transfers power to an unblocked character. Wow. Oh, okay. So Hulk is KO'd. Hulk's ability doesn't go off because of spray. Okay, yeah. Players figured out what was up, so. Very interesting. I'm gonna talk to whoever wins this game about what just happened there. Okay. You know, does Clint have a crazy turn within him that we did not forecast? I think it's just too tough without those globals like Horn of the Unicorn and Vulnerability or Anger Issues to bump up your guys to try and cruise for 20 with one character like Wolverine all on a single turn. And then all the mask can do for Michael at this point is polymorph or use Professor X. Not seeing how polymorph is particularly amazing right now, but it could pan out. I like the idea of spinning down a kobold for no reduction in damage to spinning up a dragon for potentially one or two attack bump. Getting that +2 bump from a single energy is a pretty big deal. You have to ask yourself on the resurrection basic action card. Is that guy doing a good job of resurrecting that person or not? 'Cause they're just lying there. And Constantine, is he catching that or throwing it? I don't know. Art's a funny thing without context, and I think the game context is these are all awesome, and that's sometimes all you need. So Clint is probably wishing he had some bolts to spend. He's got 2 generic. Oh, sorry, not too generic. He's got a polymorph. Ugh. And that kobold ends up being a big thorn in Michael's side. But it seemed like something he would need in the moment. So, Michael uses Professor X. Michael's gonna get to refill his bag, you know? Like, whatever happens this turn, Breath Weapon 3 seals the game. There's no Trent, there's no Human Paladin, there's no Vibranium Shield. Vibranium Shield is potentially the card I will mention most on the stream this weekend that you will not see. If someone wants to spike me and do well with it, then I guess I'm the real winner here. Okay. Attacks with Wolverine, but nope, you can't because Constantine Hellblazer. That was the named character. They have a laugh about it. So, for those of you that don't read our website, shame on you. No, for those of you that don't read our website, I wrote an article about Constantine Hellblazer and how it's one of my favorite cards. And this is one of the really great scenarios for it. Is that like, hey, you know that your opponent's going to draw Wolverine or the Hulk, and you don't really care if they attack with Hulk because it's not that great an attacker. But if they attack and with Wolverine, you don't want to deal with that. You know they're going to just make it so you can't block him, name him, and you get the slow down turn. Okay, now I get to take this turn, and I get to try and see, do I have an answer for Wolverine? And Michael is really hoping that he does, but there's any number of things that can happen here that would make things a lot easier for Michael to deal with Clint's threats. Not really a fantastic turn for Michael. So he's got a lot of energy. He's really puzzling. So the confident look we had from Michael earlier has kind of given way to a this needs to end look. Clint is looking a little bit more optimistic, I think. And Michael is KOing Clint's sidekicks. And so he Relentless is Wolverine, I imagine. Okay, Relentless on Wolverine. And now he. So yeah, so Michael's saying, "Oh, I'm gonna attack with somebody. I'm gonna transfer the Hulk's power to them," and it's the end. And that is true. They're going to make sure they return their basic action dice to one another, and I'm going to go congratulate Michael on his win. And Chris is in trouble for telling me that Clint wanted to be on stream.